Yo, honestly, this is why I'm doing it like this. I'm kind of changing my opinion on some of these headphones. Woo, this is gonna be fun. What's good, folks? It's your kinfolk Dookie, back again with a video I've been kind of talking about for a minute here. Now, before we go any further, I'm about to do some talking, explaining, kind of give you the backstory on how we got here for this battle. If you just want to get straight to my final conclusions, check out these timestamps right here. I'm gonna leave links down below in the descriptions, letting you know exactly where everything is. Now, as someone who loves music, I'm just like you. I want to get the best quality that I can get. But since this is Bang, budgeted new gear, I'm trying to get the best I can while saving a little dough. So what I have here is a battle of studio quality headphones for under $100. Now, this isn't the end all be all. There's a lot of stuff here that you might be thinking about that you're like, nah, why didn't you test this? Why didn't you test that? I have here what I have and what I think represents a good gamut of headphones in this price range. Now, there's some other options. Feel free to leave them down below in the comments. Let me know what you would have liked to see tested. Maybe I'll pick them up and do a whole nother video at a later date. Now, let's talk about the headphones. A lot of y'all found my channel through my review of these Audio Technica M40Xs. These are the baby brothers of the M50Xs, one of the most highly recommended popular headphones, and I happened to do a video that said these were better. And you know, the comment section was the wild, wild west. But I was talking about, for me, as for using them in the studio, hoping to get the best clarity versus just putting them, you know, on a phone and listening to music. But eventually I stumbled upon these. These are the Status Audio OB1s, an open back pair of headphones. They are rebranded Somic V2s, and I'll put a link down below, see if I can. But from my understanding, it's hard to get this pair of headphones. This is my daily driver when I'm editing videos, when I'm playing games, when I'm listening to new music, everything I do with these headphones. So this is definitely going to be interesting to me to see if at the end, was I bugging? Or is this still the best pair of headphones that I have for me? These are the Status Audio CB1s. And just overall build and the feel, these to me feel like the closest comparison to the M40 or the M50Xs. I've used them to podcast, I've used them to record, so I have put these through its paces, and I definitely enjoy these. Now, the newest coming to my setup are these. This is the OneOdio Studio Pro. Now, I recently did a video on these, right up there, man. I watched a couple of videos and I just had to add them to the mix. Now, last but definitely not least, is a pair of headphones that are pretty famous in the budget audiophile community. These are the Superlux HD668Bs. I mean, when I got them at the price I did, around 40 bucks, I was pretty much blown away that you could get that type of quality for so cheap. Now, all of these headphones here are pretty much stock how they came out of the box. This is the only one that will have a modification. These are not the standard ear pads that were on here. When I first picked them up, they had a leather red headphone that was kind of hard, and for extended listening periods, it just wasn't that comfortable. So we have 3 pairs of closed backs, 1 open back, and these are semi-open back headphones. So we're gonna see how all of that plays into the mix. Now, when it comes down to how I'll be testing these headphones, it's actually pretty simple. There are 3 categories. First, we're gonna have looks, and I'll just simply go over my feelings on how each of them looks, because that is important to a lot of people. Secondly, we're gonna put them on, we're gonna talk about the feel. I'm gonna give you my opinion on what it's like to spend an extended time with these headphones on your head, because that is important. It doesn't matter how good they sound. If you don't wanna wear them, then you're not gonna even enjoy how good they sound. And the last, but really the most important, will be the sound. Like I've said, it's always gonna be about sound for me when it comes to headphones. Now, for each of the main categories, I'm gonna give them a score out of 5. But for that sound category, I'm gonna break that up into 4 individual areas: the lows, the mids, the highs, and the overall sound stage. Add those up, give me the average, and that will be the number for sound. I know that sounded kind of complicated, but it is pretty simple. I'm gonna leave it down in the description just to clarify it even further. Now we'll take all 3 of the main scores for each of these headphones, average that together out of 5, and that will give me the final score for each headphone. Now when we get to the audio section of this test, I won't be playing any of the music for you, but I will be leaving links down below to a Spotify and Google Play playlist I created with all the music that I'm using. I went out and I searched the internet. I asked some good friends of mine, all who are into music. I went on different headphone forums and found out what people were listening to test their headphones. Now I will be honest, I'm into hip hop, soul, music with bass and fill, that type of stuff will be the majority of what I will listen to, but I will leave links to those playlists. I suggest if you want to do a test like this of your own headphones, try to find the highest quality files that you can find and put it to the test in a nice, quiet environment. All right, let's get into that first category. We're gonna keep this simple with the look. Now let's talk about the HD668Bs from Superlux. Now these are the only ones up here that have an old school type of feel. They're plasticky with not the highest quality plastic at all. I will say that I've not treated these very well. I've thrown them around, tossed them in and out of boxes, bags, and they're still here. They're still standing strong. So I'm definitely giving them thumbs up on that. But as far as overall aesthetics, you know, it's kind of clean, but out of all of these options, these would be my least go-to if I'm just thinking about the looks and aesthetics. They're not ugly by any means, but just not my favorite style when I'm thinking about headphones. So overall, in the looks department, I'm giving these a 2. Now up next we have the Audio Technica M40Xs. I feel like over the last year since I started collecting headphones, with this and the M50X's popularity, that a lot of headphones try to emulate this style, but you have a nice solid black band with your branding across the top. You have the classic logo here on the side. You have a metal band here on the inside, and these are pretty good. I've, mistreated and mishandled these as well. I mean, I really use my stuff. I'm not just trying to keep it cute. These have been overseas to the Middle East, in the middle of an army base in the desert, and have survived. Overall though, the style is, average. I like that it's clean. What I have been thinking about doing is putting a skin on these, maybe putting some white accents or even color on here. But for the most part, they do look good. I'm gonna give it a solid 3. Now, when I first picked up the OB1s, I really did enjoy this open back style with the mesh grate. Then you have your red accents here on the inside, with a nice super plush band up here. And the one thing about Status Audio is the only type of wording that you have on here is right and left indicators to let you know which headphone is which. That is kind of their motto. It's not about the branding, it's about the quality. But as far as looks, once again, not super blown away, not really just loving the looks of these headphones. With these, it's definitely more about the other features. So I'm going to give these a 2 in the looks department. Now with the newcomer here, the OneOdio Studio Pro, I have to say, right out of the box, I do love the look and style of these headphones. Right across the front here, you have a black band with some OneOdio branding, and you have your red accents. You almost have this vinyl style type of design on the outside with the OneOdio logo. I don't like this shiny plastic attempt right here. It does kind of feel cheap. That would be the one thing to knock a point off of this for me. But I do love this red cable. I mentioned this before. This is their dual purpose, no adapter cable, but looks overall these would have been a perfect 5 out of 5 for me if it wasn't for this shiny bit of plastic. So I'm going to go with a 4. Last but definitely not least is the CB1s. Now these are similar to the other pair from Status Audio. There is no branding on these headphones whatsoever. The only wording here are right and left indicators. There's just simply these gold accents that kind of give it a nice little pop of color. I wish these accents were maybe like silver, but not shiny like these, or maybe had like red come in different colors. I think that would have been fire. But overall, these are a solid 3. All right, let's keep it rolling. What I want to talk to you is I'm gonna put each headphone on and we're gonna talk about the feel. Now, like I mentioned here on this HD Superlux, these are the only ones that I have modified, the ear pads. Now these are real soft memory foam with a plush covering similar to the fabric on the OB1s. So if I judge them on how they are here today, as I presented them to you, they feel so good. Now, I've said this countless times here on this channel. I have a massive head. So most of these, when I put them on, they'll be stretched out. But overall, just having them on my head, they feel good because, like I said, this is my daily driver. So I'm so used to this padding. And what they had before was kind of hard. And if you were to wear them for an extended amount of time, I'm talking about 2 hours while you were gaming, kind of would just feel fatigue from wearing them just from the pads alone. Not to mention, you don't really get the most comfort out of this headband style. The clamp force is not too bad. It is kind of strong. Yeah, these clamp on strong. They're not going anywhere. Let's move around. For comfort, I would have to give these a 3.5. I do love the ear pads. That is the style that I love. I just don't love this band on top. Now up next, these are the M40Xs. Out of the box, these were the most expensive. So they do have more of a premium feel when you put them on your head. I just wish the ear pads were better. After long periods of gaming, if if it's not in a nice, cool environment, anytime your body temperature rises, if anything gets exciting, if you start nodding your head a little bit, you're gonna start sweating. These ear pads just don't do it for me. I would need to change these. So I gotta give these a 3. Overall, they feel the highest quality. Like these feel like a much higher quality headphone because of the plastic used and the overall build. But as far as comfort wise, I don't know if I'd really want to let this rock listening to an edit for hours. So these I have to give a 3. Now the OB1s, they're kind of heavy because they do have metal and high quality of plastic used. They feel substantial when you put them on your head. I love the padding here included in the top. On the Superlux, I had to replace the ear pads to feel as good as these feel right out of the box. These being open back, you put them on and the world just doesn't disappear. Overall, for feel and comfort, I gotta go with a 4. Now, let's get to the OneOdio. Now this is gonna sound crazy, but putting these on, I gotta apologize to some of y'all that saw the review on these. If any of y'all got in trouble with your significant others that thought y'all was doing some, hedonistic activities on your laptop when you was watching my YouTube channel, tell them it's all my fault. It comes down to simply these nice, thick ear pads that just feel so good. Now, as far as build quality and overall, that will be determined over time because I've had these the shortest amount. Now, it does when you do like that, they do kind of click clack and make more noise than any of the other pairs here. But just having them on my head in a normal scenario, it feels so good. I have to give these a 4.5. Now the CB1s are pretty similar. These feel like what the M40Xs would be if I switched out the ear pads for those thick, nice cushiony ear pads. Now these ear holes aren't as wide as they are on the OneOdios. So it may be depending on your ear type if they're over ear or on ear. But for me, they're still pretty much over ear. My ears fit in pretty nice. They're definitely comfortable. The padding here on the top feels good. They're kind of lighter, so they don't weigh you down, kind of like the Obi ones do. They feel pretty good. Wow, these definitely just feel good. Yeah, this is tough, but I gotta go with a 4 on these. Now, for the last and final category, let's talk about sound. What I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna plug each of these up to my little headphone mixer right here, plug directly into my MacBook over here. I have a mixture of FLAC files and high quality MP3 files that I'm just gonna listen to. We're gonna go back and forth, and I'm gonna try to determine for me which gave me the best overall listening experience. Let's talk, man. Let's talk. I've been listening to music for about the last 2 hours. Some of these songs I know really well. Some of them I only know for checking out this playlist right here. Some of them were, just suggested for me to check out here in this playlist. I just kind of want to talk to you about my listening experience in general. Then I'll tally up the scores, and then we'll just take it all from there and we'll be done with this. I'm glad that I did this way because, when you go into something with the preconceived notion, it's interesting to see that challenged. Let me try to explain to you my listening experience and what I was feeling when I was listening to songs. Overall, all of these sound great. You can't go wrong with any of these as a pair of headphones, especially on a budget. Now, I'm sure there are going to be some audiophiles who are like, yo, these don't sound like my XYZ pair of headphones. And I guarantee you that most of the time of those headphones will be triple, double, even quadruple the price of anything on this table. We're talking here under 100 for each of these. But let's talk about my least favorite overall listening experience. So we're going to do just my overall listening experience before we get into the individual numbers. Now, to start off with my least favorite listening experience, it has to be the Superlux HD668Bs. If you're looking for just a super solid, flat, clean pair of headphones. But overall, it was just meh. It kind of just, nothing really excited me. This is music with a lot of dynamic range. They felt like they sounded the cheapest. Like it felt like it had a cheap sound. Not bad. Now, I know that these are really popular in the community and I can tell why. Because they do have a clean sound. They do have a good, clean sound, but just nothing blew me away. So here's the scores for those. Up next is a pair I enjoyed a little bit more than the Superlux, and it kind of saddened me that they were this low in my listening experience. It was the Obi ones. That is mainly because these had the most emphasis on the low end, but not a very clean low end. And what I'll say is it had bass, but there's different levels of bass. There's different levels of mids, there's different levels and highs and dynamics. And you just don't want a muddy sound if you're going for a clean, balanced listening experience. The music still sounded good and you were able to feel the experience. It definitely had a good soundstage. It just was the most muddy out of the whole bunch. But here are the scores that I got for them. Now this is kind of where it got tough. because these two pair of headphones just sounded so good. But number 3 on the list is the OneOdio. I'm still amazed at this pair of headphones under 50 bucks. The clarity is there. This has punch in the low end, but it's muddy. This has a nice, sharp, clean, focused low end, but the mids and the highs are exciting and dynamic as well. But overall, it just wasn't up to par with the other two pair of headphones. It was right there. Real quick, here are the scores that I got for the OneOdio. I don't even know where to start. But if we're going to go with number 4 on my listening experience, it has to go to the Status Audio CB1s. These were almost neck and neck, so close, but I think just in pure listening experience, making you feel that much more a part of it, it has to go to the M40Xs. Like, listening to variety of music on either one of these, from rock, from K-pop to old R&B. Rest in peace to Aretha Franklin. She has a song called Skylark that I felt like I was right there with her while she was with her band and recording that song. It was really next level. But the M40Xs did beat out the CB1s. So here are the scores on the CB1. And let's talk about the M40Xs. Overall, these just had the best clean clarity. Everything sounded lovely. There were kicks that you feel right here. The bass hit in certain spots. I was just able to notice slight, pans. Just that much better with the M40Xs. Overall, these just were my favorite listening experience. But here are the numbers so you can see what I scored it. Looks like I need to wrap this up as it has gone on way too long. If I'm going to be honest, I really should have weighted the sound score a little bit more so that it mattered more in the final outcome. Now, like I said, I'm gonna leave a link down below. Maybe I'll throw up a sheet or a document that has my scoring on there so you can see exactly what I have. With the Superlux, in looks, I gave them a 2. Feel, I gave them a 3.5, and in sound, they averaged a 2.875. Averaged that together to get an overall score of 2.79. The next one in line with a score of 2.92 was the OB1s, the Status Audio OB1s. Like I said, that kind of shook me up because those have been my favorite headphones out of the bunch. In looks, I gave them a 2. In feel, I gave them a 4. They were just so comfortable. I love the way they felt on my head. And in sound, they actually ended up getting a lower sound score than the Superlux. And that was for one main reason, because it was just so muddy. It was much muddier in the low end than any of the headphones on this table. The next two, this is why I said overall sound should have counted 4 more in the list, because the third one on the list actually is the Audio Technica M40Xs. And that's mainly because I do not like the comfort of these headphones. They were pretty average as far as looks and comfort. If I had different ear pads that were softer, with more cushion, that I could really enjoy over long periods of gaming, it really wouldn't be any question, because these were the audio king. The sound wise, they killed everything. But overall, they ended up with a 3.46. Now, the next on the list which is again the closest to the M40Xs in an overall experience, are the CB1s from Status Audio. Where the M40X were more clean and balanced. These were clean but really bright, with more emphasis in the highs and dynamics. Honestly, you can't go wrong with these when you're monitoring music in any scenario. And then finally, the OneOdio, the surprise the surprise. It was a nice balanced sound with a little bit more emphasis in the bass range. So, you know, these were definitely better for listening to music. These definitely just for listening to like hip hop. You know, I listened to some K-pop, but like I said, the overall sound kings were the M40Xs. But as compared to these in the CB1s, that's what I thought the OneOdio brought to the table, was that little bit of punch in the low end that kind of put it there. If you want to determine a winner by my scores, it would have to go to the OneOdio Studio Pro. But if I'm being 100% honest, sound means so much to me. And I think these just sound on another level, closer to what I would feel like a professional pair of headphones should sound. But with budget, value, looks, while it may not mean a lot to you, there are people who love how their headphones look. They have to look good. And then feel, you want to put something on your head that you can listen to for an extended period amount of time, and feel means a lot. I want to hear what you guys think. I've been going on and on. This is definitely probably my longest video. If you made it all the way to the end, you are the fam for real. I really appreciate everything that you did checking this video out. Let me know down in the comments if you agree, if you think I'm crazy, if you've had any of these headphones and you just don't agree with the score that I gave them. Let me know down in the comments. If you have any suggestions for headphones that I can add to the mix and maybe do a part 2, then let me know down in the comments. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. It's your kinfolk Dookie. I'm gonna get up out of here and go listen to some more music. Holla at your boy.